History does not pity the fool who chooses the wrong woman. A man who chooses wrong doesn't just lose love. He forfeits his fire, his focus, his future. No bullets fired, just silence, softness, and surrender. And no one warns him, because no one dares. Because no one taught him how to see. No one teaches men how to choose a woman. Not school, not parents, not even the world that punishes them when they choose wrong. They'll tell you to follow your heart. But your heart? It wasn't trained for war. And your future is a battlefield, not a fairy tale. Your heart doesn't lead kingdoms. Discernment does. Machiavelli never feared fate. He feared poor alliances, because the wrong woman at your side is not just a personal loss. She's a political collapse. While the world sells you love, Machiavelli whispers from the shadows, choose with ruthless clarity, or lose everything quietly. Number 1. There are only 2 types of women, beneficial or destructive. Let's begin where most men refuse to look, at the binary they've been trained to deny. There are only 2 kinds of women, beneficial or destructive. Nothing in between. No, maybe she'll change. No, she's working on herself. No, but she has a good heart. Because intention means nothing if her presence is dismantling your direction. She either multiplies your peace or divides your focus. She either supports your climb or distracts you until you forget why you ever started. And the most dangerous ones? They don't come in chaos. They come in charm, in empathy, in softness that slowly convinces you to stop sharpening your edge. That's the lie too many men fall for. They think destruction looks like abuse, like shouting, like betrayal. But real destruction often wears perfume. It calls itself understanding. It praises your potential while secretly pulling you away from it. You don't notice it at first. She's warm. She's attentive. She says the right things. But over time, you begin to fade. Not because she demands it, but because you allow it. And here's where most men fail. They keep calling it love, even when the symptoms are spiritual erosion. So hear this. Stop romanticizing dysfunction just because it came with kisses. Stop calling it love just because it didn't raise its voice. If she distracts you from your mission, if her patterns contradict your peace, if your clarity dims when she's around, then it doesn't matter how much she smiles. She's not a partner. She's a parasite dressed as passion. Machiavelli didn't speak in sentiment. He spoke in consequence, and the consequence of choosing a destructive woman is that your purpose dies slowly and no one comes to mourn it. So no, there is no middle ground. She either builds the kingdom beside you or slowly burns it down behind your back. Your job is to know the difference and choose like your future depends on it, because it does. Number 2, never choose based on appearance alone. Lust is loud. It doesn't whisper. It doesn't wait. It blinds you quickly, and it blinds you well. But character moves quietly. It doesn't shout for your attention. It waits to be seen by a man who's done being fooled. And that's the test. You see, most men, they don't fall because a woman lied. They fall because they were too eager to believe. She was beautiful, so you assumed she must also be kind. She smiled, so you imagined she must also be loyal. She touched your arm, and you filled in the rest with fantasy. But what you refused to see was everything else. You never watched how she treated people who couldn't benefit her. You never listened to how she spoke about her ex, about her father, about men in general. You never paused long enough to realize she wasn't drawn to your values, only to your validation. You thought beauty was enough, but beauty isn't a sign of goodness. It's a mask anyone can wear, and some masks are deadly. A man who chooses based on curves alone isn't choosing a partner, he's selecting his destroyer with a smile. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." So ask yourself, are you just seeing her appearance, or are you experiencing her essence? Is she disciplined? Does she live with purpose? Does she guard her body, her mind, her time? Because real beauty is not how she looks when she walks in. It's how her presence affects your soul when she stays. You don't need a beautiful poison. You need a woman whose beauty is the echo of her discipline, her restraint, her respect for herself and for you. And if that's not there, no smile, no body, no softness is worth the slow death of your vision. So look again, not through lust, through clarity. Because the man who can see through beauty is the man who finally chooses himself. Number 3, never choose a woman who disrespects masculine authority. Now let's talk about something deeper than attraction alignment. Because even if she's beautiful, even if she's sweet, even if she says she loves you, if she cannot respect masculine authority, you're not with a woman. You're with a competitor. It won't look like war, not at first. It'll look like suggestions. It'll sound like just opinions. It'll feel like she's trying to help. But over time, you'll notice the subtle corrosion. You'll speak a vision, and she'll roll her eyes. You'll make a decision, and she'll question it. You'll draw a boundary, and she'll cross it smiling. And the tragedy, you'll think you're growing together, but what's really growing is resentment, not yours, hers. Because a woman who does not trust your leadership will eventually despise your presence, and she won't say it outright. She'll test you again and again, not to destroy you, but to confirm what she fears, that you can be bent. And the moment she senses that she stops following, she starts leading, and you start shrinking. You think you're being understanding. You think you're compromising. But what you're actually doing is forfeiting the very essence that made her feel safe in the first place. You become less king, more servant. And the castle you were building together, it quietly collapses from within. Machiavelli wrote, "Men who fail to secure their power soon become slaves to the very forces they once tried to tame." That's what happens when you let a woman who resents masculine order co-pilot your life. She's not nurturing your legacy, she's dismantling it. Not because she's evil, but because nature despises a vacuum. And when you don't lead, she'll try to, even if it kills her respect for you. So hear this. If she treats your authority like a threat, your clarity like arrogance, your standards like control, she's not confused. She's incompatible. And no amount of love will fix that. You are not here to debate your vision. You are here to build it. And the woman beside you must be one who amplifies your discipline, not mocks it. Choose her carefully, because if she cannot follow, she will fight. And you won't even know you lost until the dust clears and your mission lies in pieces at your feet. Number 4, never invest in a woman who doesn't share your values. If your path is purpose and hers is performance, you're not in a relationship. You're in a tug of war. She doesn't need to be perfect, but she must be aligned, because direction matters more than chemistry. A woman who values discipline will guard your solitude, not compete with your silence. She won't see your focus as distance. She'll see it as devotion to something higher than both of you. But if her attention is tied to attention, If validation is her oxygen and image is her altar, then your mission will always feel like neglect to her, and eventually she will resent it. You're building something that requires stillness, sacrifice, and clarity. And she's scrolling, posting, comparing, reacting. You don't need her to worship your grind. But if she doesn't understand the cost of it, she'll interrupt it every time. Because what she cannot value, she cannot protect. And here's what stings. Most men don't end up off course because of temptation. They fall because they confused chemistry with character. She laughed at your jokes. She looked good beside you. She said she was supportive. But when it came time to build, you were laying bricks alone while she danced for digital applause. Don't get angry. Get honest. You chose based on potential, not on proof. A queen doesn't just admire your throne. She guards the gate when you're too tired to stand. And if she can't do that, you're not being loved. You're being delayed. Number 5. Watch how she reacts to your boundaries. Any woman can love you when you say yes. The test is how she moves when you say no. Set a boundary, then watch. Not her words, her reaction. Does she stay grounded, or does she shift? Does she listen, or does she escalate? A woman who respects you doesn't need to agree with your line. She only needs to recognize that it's yours. But the moment she panics, the moment she guilt trips, cries, withdraws, or rages, you're not in intimacy. You're in manipulation. This is where most men fold. They confuse emotional reaction with emotional depth. They think tears equal love. But often they're just tactics. When a woman can't handle your no, it means your identity is still negotiable to her. And a man whose center can be shaken by pressure will never be trusted with power. Don't fear her discomfort. Observe it. Because loyalty isn't revealed in comfort. It's revealed in contrast. Can she love you when you withhold? Can she stay steady when she doesn't get her way? The wrong woman demands access. The right one honors limits. Because a queen doesn't just want your presence. She wants your integrity. And if that means stepping back, she won't collapse. She'll calibrate. But here's the deeper truth. If you struggle to set boundaries, the issue isn't her. It's your fear of loss. A man afraid to lose her will never lead her. You're not here to be agreeable. You're here to be anchored. And if she cannot meet your edge with grace, she's not worthy of what that edge protects. Number 6. Her past predicts your future. Don't listen to her words. Listen to her history, because words are cheap. But patterns, they don't lie. A woman's past is not just a story. It's a map. And you better read it before you take the next step. Look closely, not with judgment, but with clarity. Has she betrayed trust before? Does she leave when things get hard? Does she create chaos and call it passion? You think you'll be different. That you'll love her in a way no man ever has. That your loyalty, your patience, your effort will make her change. But that's not love. That's delusion in disguise. You are not her savior. You are not her fresh start. You're just the next chapter unless she's rewritten the story on her own. Because a woman who hasn't faced her patterns will repeat them. And when she does, you'll be the one holding the cost. Not because she's evil, but because people don't rise until they're ready. And love can't make someone ready. Only truth can. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Don't get caught in promises. Study patterns. Not just how she treated you, but how she treated the ones before you. Not just what she says about loyalty, but what her history says about restraint. Ask yourself, when she was hurt, did she seek revenge? When she was bored, did she create drama? When she was loved, Did she protect it or sabotage it? Because here's the truth. You are not the exception. And if you ignore who she's been, you are choosing who she will be with you. So know her past is not off limits. It's the only thing that can show you what's coming. And if you choose not to look, don't cry when the future looks exactly like the past you refuse to see. Number 7. Test her behavior in your absence. Any woman can play loyal when you're near, when your eyes are on her, when the rewards are visible. But character is revealed in the dark, when no one's watching, when there's no prize, when your back is turned. That's the test. Not how she behaves when you're holding her hand, but how she moves when you're not even in the room. Does she protect your name? Does she reject the eyes that don't belong to her? Does she carry your standards like her own, or does she drift? The moment the spotlight leaves, it's easy to appear committed when love is new, when attention is fresh, when everything feels exciting. But real loyalty doesn't show up in excitement. It shows up in silence. So step back, not to play games, but to observe. Give space and watch what fills it. Does she respect the distance or try to punish it? Does she stay grounded in the standard you set? Or does she quietly slide back into old habits? Because here's the truth. Most men don't want to hear. The woman you trust in your presence must be tested in your absence. Machiavelli warned rulers to guard their cities when things were quiet, because that's when enemies move. Apply the same wisdom to your relationship. Don't just ask, does she love me? Ask, does she live by my standard when there's nothing to gain from it? Because a woman who cannot be trusted alone will not protect your future. She will betray it when the storm hits, when no one's looking, when the kingdom is vulnerable. So test her, not with suspicion, but with structure. And if she fails the silence, you've already heard the truth. Don't ignore it just because you miss the noise. Number 8. Avoid women who weaken your discipline. The wrong woman doesn't show up with a sword. She shows up with a smile, not to fight you, but to soothe you into weakness. She won't destroy you with hatred. She'll destroy you with comfort. It won't sound like sabotage. It'll sound like love. Take a day off. You're too hard on yourself. Skip the gym just this once. Why are you always so serious? And because you love her, because her presence feels safe, you'll listen. But what you don't see is that every time you bend, you trade one more piece of your fire for the illusion of peace. Not because she's trying to harm you, but because she doesn't see the world like you do. She's not building what you're building. She doesn't carry the same burden. She doesn't feel what it costs you to lower your standard even once. And so, you soften. You skip one morning. You delay one goal. You make one exception. And slowly, the man you were becoming starts fading in the mirror. This is how kings fall. Not by ambush, but by accommodation. A woman who does not respect your discipline is a threat to your destiny, even if she calls it love. Because love that makes you less is not love. It's treason disguised as tenderness. So watch her closely. Does she sharpen you? Does she challenge your highest standard? Does she hold you accountable when you want to let go? Or does she reward your laziness with affection and name it support? There is no neutral woman. She's either building with you or building against you. Not in anger, but in softness. And if you're not awake, you'll trade your edge for a kiss, your fire for her comfort, and your future for her approval. Number 9. Better to be alone than with the wrong woman. Loneliness? Yeah, it's heavy. It echoes in the room. It hits you on cold mornings. It whispers to you when no one else does. But don't let that silence fool you, because there's something worse than being alone, being with someone who makes you feel even more alone. The wrong woman doesn't scream at you. She doesn't break things. She just slowly pulls you away from yourself, from your discipline, your mission, your clarity. And the tragedy, you'll think it's your fault. You'll think you're burnt out. You'll think you're just tired. But what you're really feeling is the cost of carrying a woman who does not walk beside your purpose. She drains your fire, distracts your focus, and then she leaves. Not out of cruelty, but because there's nothing left to take. And you're left holding the version of yourself you swore you'd never become. Dull, drained, disconnected from the man you once were. So here's the truth. Most men don't want to say out loud. Better alone, sharp and ready, than together bleeding out in silence. You don't need another body next to you. You need space to grow. You need your mind clear, your standards high, your edge intact. Solitude is not your enemy. It's your training ground. And if you can learn to master it, to sit with the silence without shrinking, you'll become a man no woman can shake. Because you're not choosing out of fear. You're choosing from fullness. So don't fear being alone. Fear forgetting who you are in the name of being with someone who was never meant to go where you're headed. This isn't hatred. It's strategy. You are not a boy chasing connection. You are a builder, a guard, a man with something worth protecting. And the enemy isn't always outside your walls. Sometimes she walks in smiling. That's how empires fall. Not through war, but through access. Not because she was evil, but because you left the gate open. You handed out your time, your vision, your presence to someone who never earned it. And now you're here, waking up, not because you're bitter, but because you finally had enough of bleeding in silence for the sake of being loved. So stop choosing with hunger. That's how boys operate. Start selecting with insight. That's how kings are made. You are not here to chase peace through sacrifice. You're here to build it through clarity. So raise your standard and guard your gate. If this message burned truth into your chest, if you felt it not just in your ears, but in your gut, your spine, your memory, then say it now. I stop choosing blindly. Write it below. Let the world see the line you've drawn. And more than that, send this to a brother who's still asleep, still entertaining the wrong one, still calling it love, while his kingdom quietly burns behind closed doors. Don't let him fall alone. Not if you've already seen the fire. Because this isn't just advice, it's armor. And the next time she knocks, you'll know how to answer.